Russia will have sights on us. We have to be very careful. We see what's happening to other African countries. Let's not think that this cannot happen in Kenya. True. Look at what happened to the northern part of Sudan, a part that we thought was peaceful, but now there's a proxy war going on there.
Yeah.
Now, another thing.
That's your deputy.
Yeah, another thing.
That chap ain't going nowhere. Tujipange.
Another thing I picked up, I don't know whether I can see it here. Another very interesting thing that I picked up, and I'm still yet to get the details of this. There's a Senator CHERARGEI, was advocating for an increase in presidential term limits. Increase the presidential term limit to 7 years. And he said that 5 years is not sufficient for running government. President to go for 2 terms of 7 years each. Let me speculate here. I know Pablo doesn't like speculation. Let me speculate what's happening. This is not the first time people on that Kina Pablo side, UDA, are bringing up this issue of
term limits.
Of term limits. Now,
or extension or
previously,
whatever.
it was some member of parliament from Northeastern.
From Northeastern, yes.
Yeah, who was advocating
for another term.
For 3 terms.
A whole other term.
Yes. For a whole other term.
Yes.
Now you have Senator CHERARGEI talking about a 7-year term limit. These things are being done methodically. I don't think these things are random. They are very well choreographed.
Orchestrated, and you're being told how it's going to go. And
this is a strategy, because you have to remember, in all likelihood, there will very likely be a referendum before the next election. Because remember, there's this dialogue group that has been set up to start ironing out things. The outcome is most likely gonna be a referendum. So what these guys are doing right now, they're testing all these different theories to see which one will stick.
Now, let me... sorry, finish.
No. I'm just saying, I have this feeling that President Ruto, and this is my opinion, it's not the opinion of the OneMicShow, it is not the opinion, it's not a fact, but this is just my feeling. President Ruto wants to go more than 10 years, hopefully 20 years, and if he can, even 30 years.
Pula moi.
And that is possible.
Let me tell you, Lawrence has been harping and beating that drum.
You mean Babahanya?
Babahanya. Because every time, man, let me tell you, this guy is going to start. I am telling you, this guy is gonna extend. He's gonna try to find a way to change the constitution so that term limits not only can term limits can be removed. So now it's until I guess you die. Yeah. Initially when he had that, and that was like prior, like, hey, you guys, you don't understand. This was gonna happen. So guy becomes president, whatever. Then that guy makes that comment. I'm like, okay. He's like, boss, let me tell you.
Once that power has been tasted.
This you watch.
Yes.
And now, with you mentioning this, I'm like, Allah.
And I've also noticed something else. How policy is made in this government. And maybe Pablo tell us whether there's something we're not seeing. Because it's
But there was Pablo dressed in a counter suit. Oh, sorry, carry on.
I don't think he was in a counter suit, but I think he's purchased one on on Amazon clothing. But
you guys, I swear.
But I've noticed how policies, and this is something that I thought it was just a one-time thing, but policies right now are being made on top of a car. So the first thing you hear is...
So like your roadside declaration.
So the president goes on top of a car
out of a
and tells something
in a sunroof.
In a random shopping center, and says something. Then of course it's broadcast on the media. Then the next thing you see is documents that are circulating, from the government, that this is now what we plan to do. So it comes from the top of a car, and then the document is spread. And then I've also noticed another strategy, like for example, they'll come and say, oh, we're going to charge a housing levy. It's going to be 3%. So they're going to take it out and say, oh, it's been through public participation. Kwa vile watu wame complain, let's give them 1.5%. And then now act like we're now acting in favor of the Mwananchi. that's how policy is being made. This is a modernization of Nyayo's roadside declaration. It's just an observation that I've made, and this is just the first year. You know, hopefully there's something that we are not seeing. There's something that we are missing, and at the end, and I hope there's a tunnel at the end of the dark light. Pun intended.
On YouTube, Near Generational is talking here about the funds, and she was like misappropriation and waste of government time, money, and resources. And talking about the national what is it? The national sponsored prayer with should I say the rogue cleric, or is it evangelist, or is it apostle?
You have decided to bring international prayer warriors.
Yes, to intercede.
Kenya is inapiga transfer kama Chelsea.
Okay, Mungu, this guy. Anyway, as I was talking about as I was talking about Near Generation before, I was rudely interrupted. Oh no. What's your name? Near Generational says, no reincarnation of Daniel Arap Tafadhali.
All right.
Wow.
And then I also have some comments here coming from Facebook. Pablo says, today Rigiji defended Moses Kuria.
Correct.
And then Slay says,
was it really defending, or was he really,
no, he was making a comment.
He was making a point.
He basically said this is what it is.
Remember, these two have been fighting each other the whole week.
So we've like
been fighting each other
he
the
was
whole
probably
week.
given instructions.
And then there's something that Pablo said up there, that somebody was introduced as a cabinet secretary.
As a cabinet secretary, and he's not.
Yes. So true. There might be some infight. No, there might be. There is some infighting in the Mount Uda, Mount part of Uda.
Yeah, and then
the fights have been between Moses Kuria and Rigiji. So whatever Rigiji say today, don't take it as gospel.
Okay, all right. And then Pablo says, first I want to welcome Brendan Klopp, karibu sana. And then Pablo says, hata mimi hii nakata, no term limit extension. Ruto's time should end at some point, regardless and what we think about him. But let's pay attention to what's happening. And then let me see. Afro-Jamaican says, we don't have term limits here in Canada, but the party is always stronger than the prime minister. And then Pablo says, this is how Kenya will find its way into coups. This should not even be entertained. You know, right now, Russia does not have sights on us, but the point when Russia will have sights on us, we have to be very careful. We see what's happening to other African countries. Let's not think that this cannot happen in Kenya. True. Look at what happened to the northern part of Sudan, a part that we thought was peaceful, but now there's a proxy war going on there.
Yeah.
And then let me see. Pablo anasema hii mimi itabidi I go live kwa studio. I like talking with hands and gestures. You're welcome, Pablo. You're welcome.
We can put him on Zoom right now. What is he saying?
We can put you on Zoom one day. Maybe not today, but we need to have a session with Pablo. A specific episode with him.
He can't wear yellow, Sindio?
He can wear whatever he wants.
Oh, okay.
And then Lawrence Kihanya here says 3 Ruto insiders have made this comment since he became president. Bottom line, Ruto will consolidate power by winning enough opposition politicians and will get a majority. Once he gets a majority in parliament, it's a wrap. We already seeing it, e.g. Jalango, Kanini Kega, Kidero, Sabina Chege, etc. And then is Pablo no, Pablo is not the one. Afro-Jamaican is asking if Pablo is the one who likes Candace. I think he's confusing Pablo and
no.
Yeah, that's a different person. Don't worry about that, Afro-Jamaican. Pablo does not like. Pablo just likes Ruto. He doesn't like
Candace.
No.
Wow,
I saw that coming. I'm like, Allah?
Or maybe unless Pablo, you tell us. Otherwise, I don't think.
Hapo mnaekelea Pablo si Republican.
Yeah, unasikia Pablo anasema you mean Candace Parker. Candace Parker is a basketball player.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, we've talked. It's been a while since we talked politics, so it's good kidogo leo tumebanta kidogo. We bantered kidogo in politics, and with next year being an election year in the U.S. And also being a possible referendum year in Kenya. Because if a referendum is going to happen, it's either next year or 2025. I don't think it can go beyond that. So be ready, be prepared, and just know that we're going to be talking a lot of politics. Of course, we have our U.S. political contributor, Millennial Miss Annette, will be here talking to us a lot about
elections
politics
are coming up
in
November.
Yeah, November next year. And then remember,
No, for some places,
Virginia has an election. Virginia
coming up
has
November.
a
I know we
election.
have some, some people being elected.
Yes.
in, different seats.
All right. Yeah.